So, I've spent the past several hours here and there throughout the day in front of this laptop. Yes, visit some classrooms, had some conversations with staff members, teachers, my front office staff, students, joked around, the typical stuff that you do to make sure that there's an ease in your school. But I'll tell you this, the amount of work I had to do today on this laptop in the past would have probably taken me several hours beyond what I've done today, to the point where I would have to take this laptop home with me and then sit with my dinner, TV, whatever it is, trying to finish all the tasks that I have to finish. But however, I'm going to tell you something that shouldn't come to a surprise to anyone who knows me. I tap into my superpower. Okay, not my superpower. Maybe it is my superpower because I pay for the subscription, but I tap into the superpower that is AI in the form of ChatGPT. On my laptop right here, I have probably hundreds of conversations that I actually need to organize into folders, but now you can do that in ChatGPT. Everything from the conversations that are completely dedicated to my emails, where, when I get those long format emails that has my eyes rolling into the back of my head, because some people tend to be very long-winded in their emails. The fact that I can copy and paste and say, what is this? And it will summarize the email for me and tell me, hey, this is what this is asking you for. Then I can hit the voice recording and say, respond back saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever the response may be. And then it will produce it for me. Then I can sit there and read over it and be like, okay, now the second paragraph, change the second paragraph to state this, or put this time frame, or these are the dates that I'm available. The point of the matter is that I am able to respond much quickly, in a more coherent fashion than I did before. Because several times as a school leader, as a professional, you're in the middle of an email that you're trying to think through your brain to compose, and you get and you're like, who is it? There's a problem, a crisis, something probably not even that big of a deal that you have to address. Then you come back and you're like, what was I saying? What was I thinking? What was I trying to get to? And then that email gets moved into the draft folder because you just move to the next one because you're going to come back to the other one. And you never quite respond because you got lost in thought or in process of your day. But here, I can literally go back to the conversation and see where I left off at. But okay, this is where I was at, and finish that and compose, and then copy, paste, and go. And I believe in Gmail or in Google, you can have ChatGPT as what is it called again? I should know this, as an application that's attached to the actual program. But I use it independently. I just have my ChatGPT window open, and I have my conversations from projects that I'm working on with my team to other data. I actually use ChatGPT to analyze data. I can dump in numbers and say, hey, so show me this, show me that. What makes the more sense here? And I'm able to do all that within this piece of software that is grounded in generative AI. And it's incredible because I'm so much more effective. I'm so much more able to get things done. And I'm less stressed, which is incredible. I am less stressed. This afternoon, I took 15 minutes to sit with a teacher, and we just had a conversation about life. And that was never me before. But before, I was nonstop. I'd be working till the sun went down and still trying to get through my emails, trying to do multiple things. But here, I move so much faster. Yes, I mean, there is a downside. Sometimes you might move too fast and not read over what's been produced for you to make sure it's correct and it's coherent to what you were expecting. But I've had a couple of those happen in the past where I'm like, ooh, yeah, that was not what I intended. But the thing is, the more you use it, the more comfortable you get with it, then the more you know how you work with the tool. And people might say, "Oh, that's a downfall of AI and technology," but it's like having a human secretary. If you're not slowing down to make sure that what you're asking your secretary to do for you is actually what's coming out, then your secretary is going to make assumptions about what you want, which may be incorrect, and send out emails and communications that are completely wrong. And now, guess what? You're frustrated. They're frustrated because there was a lack of communication, clarity, or thought. It's the same thing with AI. You have to still slow down and read what you're asking it to do and making sure it actually makes sense. And the thing too is, it's one of those things where I tell people all the time, you gotta use it every day. You gotta use it every day. It's like a muscle. And after a while, guess what happens? There's a flow that you get to. And I'm gonna say this for those of you out there who are using AI and telling yourselves, "Oh my God, I'm gonna tell people." Trust me, when I read your email, I can tell. Every time I see an email that starts with "I hope all is well" or whatever, that one little sentence before the start of the email, I'm like, that's AI. I already know that. It's a pattern that if you use it enough and tell it what to do, what not to do, it will not get stuck in that habit. Now, but usually when it starts off working with you, it gives you information that is really kind of like baseline general on how it responds to your emails. But after a while, when you start doing those edits in there, you start saying, no, you say it this way, say it that way. It starts to learn the way you think actually, which is kind of weird to say, but it does. And why is that a big deal? Because if you think about it, the number of times you're on your phone you're looking at something, and all of a sudden, all your social media posts start to advertise to that thing you're looking for, because the technology is intended to learn us, to make our lives comfortable, more comfortable or easier. Even though it's kind of creepy, but that's what it's done. That's the purpose of technology, is to make our lives easier or a little bit more efficient. So the more you use it, the better it aligns itself to your style of thinking, writing, talking, and all of the above. But again, if you have something counter to what I'm saying, please share. But I just want to share that real quick. And with that being said, till next time, be well.